joys of June. Today, a couple of sides who've ridden very different paths to Twickenham. Exeter steadily building momentum. Quins wonderfully blazing into title contention late on. Just one big question really surrounding Rob Baxter's selection this week. Once again, the boss has left Stuart Hogg on the bench in favour of Jack Noel, who scored twice in the semi-final. Today becomes the only chief to start in all 6 Premiership finals. The rest of the back division picking itself these days. Up front, no Ewers or Skinner on account of their suspension. So Yanis Kirsten on the blind side. Capsticks recovered from that Tuolangi challenge. And the prolific Simmons at 8. Ahead of Lions duty, like Johnny Hill and Luke Cowan-Dickey, who's been reiterating the mantra this week of Exeter first. The message clear. The Lions can wait. 3 changes made by Billy Millard, with Andre Esterhazen free to play again, straight into the midfield to offer that deadly gain line threat. Quins lost Aaron Morris to injury last week at Ashton Gate, so in comes Caden Murley on the wing. Tyrone Green, quite brilliant a week ago from fullback. Karen Smith pulling the strings, looking to benefit from the punch and the energy of the likes of Levis, Don Brandt and James Chisholm, whose performance off the bench against Bristol really demanded his inclusion today. So powerful, so hugely impactful. And Joe Marler, another who emptied the tank across 90+ minutes 7 days ago. One more Saturday at the coalface.
We get the impression today that the battle of forwards is going to be absolutely key, but if we're looking for matchups, there can be only one head-to-head we choose. The 2 number 8s, 2 of the best number 8s in world rugby in terms of attack at the moment. These guys, out of all the forwards in the Premiership this year, have topped the charts on try scored, try assist, metres gained and clean breaks. It's going to be an absolutely world-class battle.
I have to disagree with you, Ben. I think if you're going to pick a matchup, then it has to be the 2 10s. Simmons versus Smith, the 2 mercurial future of England in that 10 shirt. Both amazingly talented and brilliantly skilled at bringing the rest of their backlines into play. We could just about to witness a classic encounter between 2 young mercurial talents.
Just a snapshot of those mouth-watering one-on-ones all across this famous patch of turf today. So the Quins, having enjoyed the short special walk across the A316, from the little stoop to the big stoop as they call it. Since their last Premiership final, and a week on from the miracle of Ashton Gate. A semi-final that took some processing, took some decompressing. Very little was done in the early part of this week after those crazy 100+ minutes, and you can understand why, Ben.
Yeah, how do you come down from such an amazing half of rugby where you looked out of the game? The emotional challenge for Harlequins has been everything this week.
Exeter in their usual place at this time of year. Their 6th consecutive Premiership final, and here to defend their crown. The motivation clear after being dethroned in Europe by Leinster at the quarter-final stage. A handful of questions asked as to whether they're as good as the side that won the double last season. They are intent on providing a definitive answer to that this afternoon. A day to savour. Before we get underway, we're going to have a little moment to recognise all those who've worked so hard to help us through the pandemic, to get us to this point. So the health workers, the carers, the first responders, the sporting administrators, just about everybody who has stretched every sinew to make it all happen, to plough a way through it somehow or other. We will all know and we will all appreciate those very special individuals. first Premiership final for referee Matthew Carley today. Luke Pearce and Carl Dixon running the lines. Ian Tempest is our TMO. Smiles on faces, good signs for Quins. They found their smile in mid-January, and they've been smiling for the most part ever since. What an opportunity today. Final moments of anticipation, of excitement. All or nothing for the next 80 minutes. For the right to be crowned English champions. Exeter against Harlequins. Claimed by Johnny Hill. Chiefs in their trademark black strip. Quins in their change strip this afternoon. Seeded 4, having come through the playoffs, their first in 7 years. First challenge and brilliantly gathered one-handed by Tyrone Green, who was masterful in the semi-final.
How good was that take, your first touch?
Here's Smith, already probing those inside channels. Taken up quickly by Kerr. Quins playing with tempo right from the off, ball kept alive. Here's Liner. Good energy from Billy Millard's men. Smith to Green to Marchant. A little bit of room here for Stefan Levy's, the captain. But forwards, and a moment for the Chiefs to breathe.
Yeah, the pass goes forward. Good start for Harlequins, particularly this man. Under huge pressure from Cuthbert, the taller player. Takes it, holds onto it on the floor. But this is what we were talking about in the demo. Marcus Smith, if you create any sort of dogleg, he is going to go and find a little hole. 2 forwards, Hill goes too high up, Williams just holds back a bit. And Marcus Smith's eyes alert to it. They deal with it, Exeter, but they don't want to be giving him that sort of target to run through.
Austin.
Well, just to highlight exactly what Ben's been saying, if you look at Johnny Hill, he needs more defence, he needs more coverage, particularly if he's one-on-one, so your inside defender's got to be closer. That gap, particularly when Marcus Smith has got an inside runner, is way too big, because all he'll do is he'll stand up the inside defender. On this occasion, I think it's Williams that gets across, makes the tackle, but if Williams buys the inside runner, Smith's away.
Wouldn't have happened in the demo, Austin.
No, you'd have smashed me in the demo.
That door.
With your squeaky voice.
Yeah.
I've got you, Marcus.
I think you might have been better off with a bollard, if we're honest. So the first scrum of the game. And a free kick goes Exeter's way. A little bit of over-eagerness on the part of Joe Marler. Marler, who went the distance, didn't he, at Ashton Gate. 95 minutes, emptying the tank. Up she goes from Simmons. In comes Green. Again, safe as houses. Here's Marler.
He's got to be careful, Marler, there. He led with the elbow up, away from the body.
A little word with Andre Esterhazen about the way that tends to work out. Might do the job. Back in action after his 6-week ban. Cuthbert claims this one for Chiefs.
Step. No, good choice.
Johnny Gray, one of those who might have taken an interested look at the Lions this afternoon, with Alan Wynne-Jones going down injured. Wide they go to O'Flaherty and into touch. Hurried and hassled.
Yeah, good hustle, particularly from Danny Kerr. Comes from a long way back. We've seen him do this on numerous times and chase the ball. Look at Danny Kerr as they come off this breakdown now. He's in the backfield, in behind them all. Now he accelerates, goes for Simmons, drifts on the pass, and he makes the tackle, disrupts the pass. Really good from Danny Kerr.
That's going to be really important for them today, because if you allow Simmons time on the ball with ball in 2 hands to drift sideways across the field, he creates space time and time again. The thing is, you can do it in the first 20 minutes, but can Danny Kerr do it for 80? Very difficult, takes a lot of energy out of you.
Scott Baldwin for Quins, gathered by Cunningham and drifted away really nice and quickly, and immediately they are launching their giant. Esterhazen up the middle. He's the target man. Smith, Green, steps inside Cuthbert. Tackles made by Slade. Johnny Hill drifting offside, penalty given up. Chisholm on the ball for Quins. Kerr tries to dab it through, they'll take that penalty, well within kicking range.
Yeah, a bit of a cheap penalty really, although you're allowed to make a mistake and stumble forward. No real effort from the soon-to-be British and Irish Lion, Johnny Hill. Williams inside him actually does take a couple of steps back. If he'd done the same, probably would have got away with it. But first real attacking opportunity for Harlequins now.
And the punchy option is the corner. He's gone for Smith. He's put them within 5 metres.
It was close as well to go on the other side. You've got to back yourself. He's a confident young man. There's big moments like that that win big matches. No, we're only 4 minutes in. You know what I mean.
Just about the ideal platform for Harlequins. Terrific noise ringing around Twickenham, despite the relatively small numbers. They've gone to the front, they've smuggled it away to Chisholm, trying to catch the Chiefs cold, driving hard towards the line, and over the line, it's a penalty try. Harlequins have hit Exeter, where Exeter have hit pretty much everybody.
And what's worse for Exeter, Luke Pearce has seen who the penalty was against. He's pointing at Johnny Hill, and because a penalty try has been given, if you can identify who was at fault, it's an automatic yellow card, and Johnny Hill has been sent to the bin. Double jeopardy, penalty try, and they're a man down. Brilliant shift drive round the front. You can see how many of the Exeter players get lost defending the first drive. It's a really smart shift, and then the speed to go before Exeter can recover. They all come in from the side. Hill, who had been lost originally, there in at the side, dragging it down. Luke Pearce perfectly positioned, the referee's assistant, and there's the yellow card.
Well, we talked a lot about the start, and whilst it might not be that significant for the Exeter Chiefs, who really have shown over the recent seasons that they tend to break sides down over the full 80, for Harlequins, you felt it was essential they got out in front here this afternoon.
You say that. I had a quick chat with Billy Millard here yesterday, and he said, we're not very good. We're good at chasing teams down. So let's see whether Harlequins can change their fortunes over the last few weeks and prefer to be out in front defending a lead.
Here's Jack Knoll, slammed in the tackle by Baldwin on halfway. Cowan-Dickey, Exeter looking to settle into one or two of their own patterns. They've not had a great deal of ball in the opening few minutes. Again, the defensive work is super strong.
Use it!
Kirsten will be doing much of the work normally done by Dave Ewers, unavailable through suspension, alongside Sam Skinner. Maunder with the box kick. Green off his chest into the arms of Hepburn. Here's Cowan-Dickey.
I thought Green was played in the air though when he went for the ball, but they've got a chance here, the Chiefs.
Simmons to Simmons. Joe Simmons wriggling free of the first tackle. In comes Wilco Lowe to shut down the option. Sam Simmons now exploding through a half gap. Nice pick up from Kirsten. Kenningham in there looking to disrupt as best he can. Real terrier on the floor.
Away from the ball, man.
Maunder to that shorter side again, and Kirsten. Slade, held by Smith.
You're just seeing why they're so good at 14-men rugby, the Chiefs. They just take the pace out and keep possession. The energy that Quinn started with now, it's starting to slowly slip the other way.
Decent carry that from Harry Williams through the gain line. Here's Noel, who will employ an altogether different approach using the footwork. This is Capstick heading towards that 22. Devoto hit hard by Marler. Slade pulls it back for O'Flaherty. Cuthbert now, one-on-one with Murley. Straight in over the top of the ball. That's a wonderful turnover, affected by Andre Esterhuizen deep inside the Quins 22.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Quins, but Exeter finally found a bit of their rhythm. They'll be annoyed to have lost it. Saw an interview with Robin Cowling, who run a lot of the academy stuff. We're talking about getting the best out of players. That's a pass from Sam Simmonds. Watch him at the bottom of the screen now, getting back into position to be first receiver again. Double impact from the number 8. Exeter build their game plan around his strengths. They get on good front foot position, and then Esterhazen with a really good turnover.
Hat-trick, of course, in round 1 at the stoop for Sam Simmonds. He's been hoovering up the end-of-season awards. Player of the season in the Premiership, and indeed voted by his peers as well in the RPA. Extraordinary campaign, and off to South Africa tomorrow evening. Business to attend to at Twickenham first. Baldwin to the tail, and Dombrand in space, running into and beyond Joe Simmonds. Kerr wants it, turnover ball for Chiefs. Simmonds switches the point of attack. Jack Noel in what looks to be quite broken field, and O'Flaherty also slides inside liner, hits the gas. O'Flaherty tearing forwards. Devoto buffeted by the tackles. Strong work from Green. He's ripped the ball.
You ripped the ball out, it went forwards.
Yeah, it was a good line-out move from Harlequins, but they spill it, and this is the danger for them. The ability of Exeter to go. Jack Noel with the clear-up. It's really well marshalled by Marchant originally. They're short of numbers. Marchant does a really good job to hold off. He takes Noel, but as a result, Linus had to turn his shoulders in. So he's blindsided to O'Flaherty when he turns out, gets stepped back on the inside, and that's the danger for Quins. Really nice from Marchant, but Liner doesn't trust him completely, gets caught, and O'Flaherty, such a threat, ball in hand this season.
Yeah, it really is. 76 defenders beaten already this season. Had another 2 to that now. What was interesting from that Quins line-out, though, was they just picked out Joe Simmonds. That's all they wanted, to run straight at him with Dombrand, and they achieved it.
Big shot here from the Quins pack, and Simmonds is under pressure at the base. Quite the statement from the Harlequin scrum.
Play on, good contest.
Maunda for Devoto. Quick ball for Simmonds. Noel holds that back beautifully for O'Flaherty. Cuthbert for company, the fend on Marchant. He's done very well to feed that back. Maunda, Hepburn, was Johnny Gray, who's darting back against the grain. Simmonds sizing up the options here. It's on the floor from Slade. Good tidying job though, and here's Sam Simmonds exploding into the space. Sam Simmonds finding touch. The alarm bells ringing for a minute there for Quins.
Well, there are alarm bells because they're starting to link up really nicely, the Chiefs. This is brilliant again between Noel and O'Flaherty. Just holding on to it as long as possible, comes out of the shadows, loads of space to run into, uses gas, and that drags all the defenders over to one side as they come back. Really good recovery from Slade, pops the ball into the space that Simmonds was going, and it took a strong tackle from Liner. When he gets to this stage, gets his legs out into the wider channels, you think he's going to do him, but he just keeps enough on him. And Joe Marler just having a little conversation.
Just looking at that play then, Ben, actually, that we really worried Quins how easily Chiefs got to the outside. I mean, we spoke about the defence the other way round in the demo, but they're connected really well, 3 guys against 3. What you don't want to do in that scenario is step forward as Merley does on the outside, because look at all the work now Marchant's got to do to get back. If they stay connected and come forward, Chiefs can't get round the outside and you hit them behind the tackle line. And it's an interesting point that we've seen Quins do it last week. The defence was all over the place, and yet they still managed to turn it into a positive. Maybe that's still in the back of their minds. They've got the worst defence, one of the worst defences in the league. They don't mind conceding a try.
Yep, 82 of them conceded, including 30 in their last 6 Premiership outings. Kerr with an excellent clearance and a fine angle. It stayed in field, and O'Flaherty is under pressure on account of the chase from Liner. Enough bodies there for Exeter. Kirsten protecting the ball for Maunda. Sam Simmons again into Baldwin, but that's high. And significantly, almost 8 minutes elapsing on that yellow card.
Just get the impression that maybe Harlequins front five are going after Sam Simmons. They don't want him running in the wide expanses. They know the threat there, so anytime they can get a shot on him, physical hit, that's the sort of game they want Sam Simmons to be playing, not running down that 5-metre tram line or 15-metre tram line with grass in front of him to run into.
And with one or two extra men to enforce that point this week, Ben, as well. The inclusion of Esterhuizen, obviously, and James Chisholm, who was so immense off the bench. Two big, powerful customers.
Exactly. They've gone, they certainly started this game as though they don't want that tag of being the flash team that just want to play open, expansive rugby. They want to mix it with Exeter and match them at Exeter's game so that their USP can stand out.
Force of nature last week, James Chisholm. Ball secured by Gray. Chisholm's in amongst it. Canningham's got his arms on the ball, seemingly. Cowan-Dickey's not happy about it, and neither is Matthew Carley.
You then moved on to the ball carrier. 7 was legal. You took your arms off and then went back on the ball carrier.
He's I see his point there, James Chisholm, because although he moved his right arm off, he didn't actually put it back anywhere near the ball. The referee is saying you've got to get out, but he was sort of half-tracked in there and got pushed onto it, but the Chiefs won't care. So just now you see his right arm comes up and he releases it, so he can't rebind. He's saying, look, I'm not rebinding, but Capstick almost pushes him back on. He hasn't used his arm. He hasn't taken the other arm away. I think he's a little bit hard done by there, James Chisholm.
Well, the consequences of that decision might yet be quite significant. Chiefs within range here. And they're playing the ball through Gray. And Cowan-Dickey's locked on. Sam Simmons dragging his men forwards with a penalty advantage. The maul brought down. Devoto driven back. Here's Williams. Still with a free shot here, Chiefs. Cowan-Dickey within 6. Gray banged over by Esterhuizen. Now some width. Cuthbert, 2 men covering. Great defensive work from Harlequins. Total commitment.
2 offside. Okay. Yeah,
another advantage.
And a new advantage of 2 offside.
Cowan-Dickey bouncing off the challenge of Chisholm.
Release Alex!
Simmons is caught.
No advantage.
But back for the penalty.
Hang on. Got 2 advantages. 1 here on the 5-metre line, or 1 here on the 15 on this side.
I think Jack Noel would have taken the first advantage. He'd run over to the opposite side with the ball to take the quick tap. Luke Cowan-Dickey got a firm grasp now. I imagine this is going to go route 1 from the hooker.
Okay, time is off anyway.
Johnny Hill back with us, and no points conceded other than the 7 from the penalty try, of course, but 10 minutes navigated as far as Exeter are concerned. And once more primed from 5 metres out.
The thing about the carry here with Luke Cowan-Dickey is he gets so low and his head forward, there's almost nowhere to hit him legally.
Well, that's, if you look at Scott Baldwin now, he's down on his haunches. He knows he's got to get into that sprint start position and try and get under the nose of Luke Cowan-Dickey, and his nose is going to be 6 inches off the floor. The problem with that for Baldwin is how hard it is to wrap in the tackle, because if you're that low, your shoulders almost have to hyperextend to wrap up properly. So, big battle. And what we'll probably see now is Luke Cowan-Dickey seeing that and going somewhere else or passing.
Options here. Cowan-Dickey it is. And the tackle comes in. It's a good one from Kenningham.
Advantage 8 offside.
Driven up by Hepburn, but the offside line breached by Dombrandt.
It's a brilliant tackle from Kenningham, exactly what we were talking about. He managed to get that flexibility and wrap, but the excitement, the Harlequins to go physical, means they're giving away too many penalties for being offside.
Once again, the Chiefs go to work from close range.
Step back, 6.
Kirsten not too far away. The bludgeon of Chiefs drawing dividends. Johnny Gray credited with the score. Exeter right back in amongst it.
Well, you know the key to playing Exeter Chiefs is not letting them into that zone, controlling the middle third of the field, because once they get 5 metres out, it's inch by inch, and all they need to do is pick and dive at your feet and get an extra 30 centimetres each time, and by the time you get to the line, there's nothing you can do. A little bit of a roll back, Williams helps him over. Gray picks up Williams on his inside, rolls him back into Danny Kerr, who doesn't quite know who's tackling who. That's the little pivot on Simmons, and then there's nothing Kerr's going to be able to do to stop it.
It's the presentation of the ball as well from the Chiefs. They present the ball on the open side of the ruck, so it's easy to get momentum in the pick. That gives you an extra foot, maybe. That's all the difference. I just think at some stage there in the red zone, you've got to try and concede the tackle, not win it, and go for the scrum instead.
Eighteen and a half minutes gone. Level on the scoreboard. Exeter 7, Harlequins 7.
Well, it's been an absolutely brilliant start to this game. Loads of attacking energy, but equally defensive grit from both sides. It's a physical encounter. The fatigue's going to creep in.
Score for Johnny Gray, yet another one. That's now 4 in 6 Premiership starts this season. I just wonder if Johnny Gray, or indeed the likes of James Ryan, might be receiving a call from Warren Gatland over the coming days. All good wishes, of course, to Alan Wynne-Jones, injured up at Murrayfield earlier on today. Green lost it, but lost it backwards.
He didn't. The regather, that's the first one he's not got right. Cuthbert was good on the last one, but the last 2 he's not gathered, and this is the one that's his fault. Gets too far in front of the ball, it drops on him quickly. His eyes come off it, maybe. But certainly a tactic of the Chiefs to bombard Tyrone Green. Early on he dealt with it, and that's 2 now that haven't stuck.
I think that was a legacy of the previous challenge by Cuthbert, who I did think touched him in the air. And that gets in your head when you're jumping. He tried to jump past the ball, so he takes his own body, protects the landing area of the ball. Those 2 catches were sensational. Last second 2, it's given the advantage to the Chiefs.
Discipline, fellas, discipline, fellas.
It's that priceless field position, isn't it? Bang on halfway, but here the free kick has gone Harlequins' way.
Scrum option.
Quinn's happy to go again with the scrum.
Try in, yes. No problem.
Imagine Marcus Smith wants to go here. It's been a while since he's had the ball in hand, hasn't it? They've been defending, just eyeing it up.
Just as alignment, though, directly behind the scrum.
Full-scale penalty awarded this time. There's some power coming through from that Quinn's front row. Marler's happy with his job of work.
Got to get your bind up, Alec.
Smith again, going as deep as he dare.
It's just far enough out, Ali, that puts you in 2 minds as a forward pack, whether you drive it or run some kind of play.
But equally the same for the defence, because usually a little bit closer you'd fully commit to stopping the drive. We've already seen a deliberate overthrow to Alex Dombrandt. We've seen a shift drive round the front. What have they still got in their training armoury for this week, Harlequins, to surprise the Chiefs?
Well, Danny Kerr stood a long way away, so it's not a drive.
Oh, the ball's been stolen. And Exeter are off the hook for the time being.
Complete miscall. You saw players facing each other. When you get that sort of field position in a final, you can't have a miscommunication.
Up goes Cuthbert. Oh, that's magnificent from Cuthbert. Good work over the top of the ball, though. And Harlequins have turnover possession. Is that Levis who secured that?
Yeah, brilliant turnover. Using that long reach of his under pressure. Great take from Cuthbert, but just isolated as you would be. Not his fault.
Stay there.
Smith to the air. Not gone forwards from Marchant. It's fallen for Noel. And goes Slade to make absolutely sure that the platform is laid. Maunder, Simmons, Devoto, Cuthbert again, Capstick in the wide channel, dealt with by Murley.
Use it.
That's the difference, isn't it? Capstick's got some strength, but it's not the Dave Ewer's strength of being able to take on two guys in a wide channel and win that collision.
Use it.
If all else fails with the wide play, go back to the kick game, give Cuthbert another chance to regain.
A little bit too deep, is it, from Maunder? She measured pretty well, but Green has its number.
He's done really well, Tyrone Green, because he's getting bombarded. He must be thinking, what's coming next? It's great when you're a fullback and you catch the first couple and then they stop coming, but now he's getting absolutely bombarded with them. Tin hats on. Just moving in the air slightly, isn't it? He has to react late. Slightly too long for Cuthbert, couldn't get a competition, makes the tackle, but Exeter guilty of not rolling away.
He's been superb in recent weeks. He's been the beneficiary of one or two words from Mike Brown throughout the time that he's been absent through suspension, learning from one of the best, and his progress accelerating all the time seemingly at the moment. This time no problem with the line out. Simmons fired out in front of Smith from Kerr. Beautiful pass. That might have been forwards from Esterhazen. Kerr again. Smith. Here's Green. Good tackle from Slade. Ball dislodged.
Side. Forward out the tackle. You're in front of the
He's really good at that, Slade, isn't he? He lets you slide to the outside, then he chops you down low, spins his body through the tackle and makes a nuisance of himself in the breakdown.
Knock on, then offside.
Joe Simmons with the opportunity now to bite off a little bit of territory. Let's have a word with Nick Evans, who's the attack coach with Quins. Nick, your assessment of the opening 25, it's been really physical, and of course you had that tremendous start, really seemed to have the edge in the early moments.
Yeah, look, it was a good old-fashioned final, I think, this first 20-odd minutes. From my point of view as attack coach, we're just giving possession away a little bit too easy at the moment. We had one poor breakdown in there. We just can't give the Chiefs position all the time. We're going to be defending. So, look, it's been a decent start. It's 7-7, we're in the game.
Thanks very much for your time, Nick. I think we've got to hold it there for the moment. Chiefs in possession, on the attack.
Let him go, let him go.
And Devoto seeing some space deep inside the Harlequins 22. Liner with not too many options. Oh, the foot hits the line. And Exeter will profit.
It's a fantastic kick from Devoto, isn't it? Just right where Liner doesn't want it. It's bobbling all over the place. It's not end over end. Just kicks up, causing him a few problems, rolls on, and he just doesn't get his balance quite right, keeping his eye on the ball so he doesn't drop it. And they're clearly on the line, and that's the problem that Harlequins face. They're not generally a field position team. They like to attack from everywhere. but Exeter, you have to play field position against them, because when they get into this area, no one deadlier.
Johnny Hill leaps up.
That ball's loose. Now it's Cowan-Dickie goes back in to secure it.
Been growling at everybody this week, Cowan-Dickie, making sure that everybody's focused on the job in hand.
The other issue for Matt Carley is the penalties are starting to stack up in the red zone against Harlequins.
Picked up by Hill once more. Quinn straying offside.
And they've all been for offside pretty much, haven't they, the penalties, so he needs to have a word.
Simmons, crossfield, Cuthbert after it. Green has it. Green's in space, but of course the advantage was with the Chiefs, and they'll be relieved about that.
Wait, no, listen. Collapse at the more, then an offside. There's too many penalties every time we're down here. If it doesn't change, someone's going to go to the bin. Yes, of course you can. Time is off.
There we go. There's the
warning.
Time is
off. Don't speak to your team. Speak to your team. That's more important. Time is off. So they're speaking to their team.
Stefan Levy's afforded the time to issue those crucial instructions about discipline.
The big problem is the offside penalties, the back foot, not being at the back foot at a breakdown. The reason that is because they know they have to win the physical challenge. It's been drilled into them all week. It's very difficult to maintain your discipline when all you've been talking about all week is smashing a team backwards. You're desperate to get off the line. They need it now or they're going to lose someone to the bin.
Here's Cowan-Dickie again. This time he uses Simmons, who's swallowed up in the tackle. And this powerful game comes to the fore again. Cowan-Dickie very close. Bulldozing forwards.
Smith's going to the bin. If this isn't a try, Smith will go for being offside. The last person they want as well.
Checked. I think he may have got over, then came back, but I haven't got an on-field decision for you.
I haven't got a clear grounding of the ball over the line. I'm not sure. I think he gets to the line, but I'm not sure whether he's held up and driven back.
I think it was a try.
Number 10, regardless, is going to the bin for offside.
Well, that's big.
Ian?
Needless to say.
Yeah, got you, mate.
On-field decision is no try, because myself and Luke don't have an on-field try. We don't have a clear grounding. We have the ball at the line, not sure it's down, and then he's driven back. So on-field decision, no try. Like to check the grounding.
It's Hepburn.
10 Quinns is going to the bin regardless.
I'm pretty sure he gets to the line.
Mate, seems a grounding. On-field decision is no try.
That's Marcus Smith getting his yellow card there. Does he make it? Yes.
Looks good.
On the line. Just check the point of the ball gets down. Mind you, it's the on-field decision is no. So Ian Tempest has to be happy that the ball actually touches the ground. There it does, yes.
I think the first angle that we saw was the best one.
That's pretty clear. The ball's touching the ground, isn't it?
I think there we have the clear picture.
The ball's definitely on the ground, and the first angle shows the point of it touched the line. This angle here.
Last angle again, Matt. 1 second, mate.
I need number 10 as well, please.
That's a try.
Seems to be some reluctance on the part of Ian Tempest here.
Well, the arms you can't see exactly the ball on the ground, but if you look from behind, you definitely can see.
Yeah, go ahead.
You need to overturn your on-field decision. The ball is grounded.
10's going to the bin because that's persistent infringement from your side. You were warned, and it's a try.
Try number 100 this season for the Exeter Chiefs. It's been scored by Alec Hepburn. And the Devonian supporters are on their feet. Once more, close-range combat. And they've come up with the points. And significantly, Quinns have lost their playmaker for 10 minutes.
What a costly error that kick through from Devoto. Liner just struggling to read the bounce of the ball. It's very difficult skill, and then under pressure they give away a couple of penalties. The referee warns them. Marcus Smith knows he's never going to win that battle unless he takes it on his own terms, goes too early, gets the sin bin, and then the try is scored anyway.
The 100th try for Exeter in Alec Hepburn's 100th Premiership appearance. Not too often that we see sides notching up three figures. They've been freewheeling, both of these sides. Outstanding in attack. This is Tyrone Green.
7 out.
O'Flaherty has eyes for this one. Simmons
Stop.
has eyes for all that greenery. And once again, they can begin to tighten this stranglehold. I think he wanted more territory by the look of things. He's frustrated.
Yeah. We look at the kicking graphics there. 7 from the Chiefs, 2 from Harlequins. As Ben said before, you know the Chiefs are a territory team, so you've got to push them back. You've also got to win those secondary balls on the box kicks. If they start to win those box kicks or there's knock-ons, it gives them field position and advantage.
No Marcus Smith now, obviously, so totally reliant on Danny Care's kicking down game. Don Brandt in at first receiver.
Driven off the ball. The ball is available, says Matthew Carley. Care having his job made quite testing by a number of Exeter defenders. Some of the very best rugby of his career in recent weeks, Danny Care. Survivor from 2012, of course, and pivotal.
It's brilliant from Harlequins. The chase, he knew he was going to get there first, got in front of O'Flaherty, owned the space, stole the ball.
Esterhazen, flat and low to Marchant. Here's Green, accelerating into the space. Murley, showing the outside by Cuthbert, flings it infield where Devoto gathers it up. Penalty though to Quins.
Tyrone Green, first to react to the chop tackle on the floor. It's a big moment, brilliant from Harlequins. Liner making up for that error earlier on and stealing the ball back. And then look how many black shirts are tight, but they don't risk going too wide. And then the ball back on the inside. And a great turnover.
Well, galvanised by the loss of Marcus Smith, Harlequins edge their way into the red zone. Great work from Lewis Liner.
See them taking their time now, trying to run down that clock. Marcus Smith just pedalling to keep the legs warm. But they'll take as long as they can here. Joe Marler very late in. Matt Carley's been back there as well. So the clock stands still for now.
Last time they were here, of course, the line-out malfunctioned. Where's Baldwin sizing up for this one? To Simmons in the middle, under pressure from Hill. But he has secured it. Hill is infringed. The advantage is with Harlequins. Dug through by Care. Slade in the in-goal area.
I think this is a tough shout on Hill, actually. One each at the line out, because I don't think that Chisholm's was a penalty before, but I think that Simmons loses his shape in the air, and Hill's doing everything he can not to play him. Goes up, tries to compete. Simmons has already lost his shape. His foot's on the back of his back lifter. That's why he tips. Harlequins get away with this one, but that's one apiece.
Another bite of the cherry. This time to Chisholm at the front. And it looks like a better setup here. Kerr sucking in the defenders. Here's Esterhuizen from close range. Really good tackle made, but they keep the ball alive, and Chisholm's on his way. Another advantage behind Harlequins here.
I think you could argue that was a penalty try, potentially, for the offside of the Chiefs.
Another advantage. Kerr. The door slams shut. Baldwin using his captain, Levis. Marler now.
Let go! Away.
Kerr pops it on its way. Here's Simmons. A bit of trouble picking that one up, so driven back behind the 5-metre line, and the advantage coming into play.
It's not here.
It just feels a little bit more frantic than when Exeter on the opposition line, doesn't it? Feels like they know they have to score. They're desperate. It's just all a little bit high risk.
It's worth a look. I think it's a penalty try. When Danny Kerr comes back to the short side, the offside that's given, they're walking over.
It was a brilliant tackle by Henry Slade on Esterhuizen to start it. Because it looked like Esterhuizen was going to be using all that power to get over. Brilliant. He's had to step in, close the gap, chops him down, stops the offload. But then as they came back to the other side, was Danny Kerr prevented.
Wonderful tackle from Slade. Marler's been giving it a bit of chat. Needless to say, singling out Johnny Hill.
The scrum has been a bit of an area of strength for Wilco Lowe on his side, up against Alec Hepburn.
Golden opportunity this for Quins. Free kick. They'll presumably choose the same option.
It's Hepburn that's penalised for going through the mark, so he knows what happened.
He's stable on the
A couple of the scrums before. Desperate to win that initial engagement, so not allow Wilco Lowe to get into position. Massive scrum. Big for Esterhuizen as well, because if Wilco Lowe can get up, even if they don't drive them back and over the line or win the penalty, it means the back row have to stay on and assist Hepburn. And that's when Esterhuizen comes down Joe Simmons' channel.
Oz.
Well, I think it's a penalty try, Al. They make a really good break, but as Danny Kerr comes back to the short side, look at Luke Cowan-Dickey. Miles offside now. He's the first point of contact, and I think if he doesn't make this contact on Chisholm, he takes the ball and carries through to the line. He's blatantly offside. It's at the very worst a yellow card.
The Chiefs players might say we were being held at the scrum.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're still offside. There's been a ruck behind you. You've got to get back behind before you can move forward and make a tackle. Like you said, it's very frantic, difficult for the officials to see everything.
I think the point is it's kind of deliberately frantic on the part of Quins, isn't it? It's that high-tempo, high-energy game. It's what they've based so much on through the course of this campaign.
Scrums have been all right. No, don't need you. Scrums have been all right. You two need to allow each other to get this scrum set up. If you don't, then you're going to risk a decision, OK? In the spaces, bind up.
Really interesting call for Don Brandt, whether he picks off the base of this when they start to go forward, knowing that the back row have been taken away, or whether he trusts the front row to take it all the way over. Because if he picks running into Simmons' channel, with Esterhuizen coming flat on his shoulder, Murley there as well, very, very difficult for the Exeter captain to defend.
3 minutes to half-time. Marcus Smith in the bin. How priceless these points would be if Quins could find them here. It pops out for Kerr. Here comes Esterhuizen on that short line. Dealt with again by the Chiefs. Kerr to the short side. Canningham driven back. Wilco Lowe. Shut down initially and then gets the drive over. What a power play from the Harlequins tight head.
Absolutely outstanding. All that effort in the scrum to try and get his side up. There's a spillage at the back. Danny Kerr has to react and give it to Esterhuizen, not on the line that they were expecting him to come on. Ball spills out. Esterhuizen has to go on an out sideline. They come straight back to the blind side. Kenningham can't go there, but he takes out 3 defenders, and then he just survives that initial tackle from his opposite number, Williams, and stays on his feet, spins and fights for every inch. And Wilco Lowe, bang on half-time, has got his team right back in this game.
That's what you want from a big signing who's been signed for power and strength. Incredible physicality. I think he was helped by the fact that Hepworth couldn't get his arms around him. Hepburn even. Hepworth's a really good sculptor.
So with Smith off the field, kicking duties entrusted to Joe Marchant. With that yellow card now fully elapsed. Careful from Marchant, but he's hit the post. Those are 2 points that you really feel Marcus Smith would have nailed, but Wilco Lowe secured 5 just before the break.
Not just Wilco Lowe, the work of Simmons as well, to latch onto him, drag him through a couple of those tackles before he span out on his own. Fuming Harry Williams.
Tipped back and tidied up by James Chisholm into the final minute of this opening half of this enthralling Gallagher Premiership Final.
Cuthbert's injured his hip going up for that kick-off. He's been such a threat in the air.
Noel in the backfield. Simmons to Simmons. Floats one out in front of O'Flaherty. Loses the ball in contact. Good pressure from Liner. It's there for Dornbrandt. Smith back with us, of course, to Baldwin. Is there one twist in the tail before half-time?
That was fine. It was a knock-on.
One final scrum with a Harlequins put in.
It's frantic, isn't it? We're only 40 minutes in. I'm exhausted. Feels like we've done a whole match. Big question after half-time is that can Quins come out and play with the same type of energy?
Yeah, and you know, our thoughts turn, of course, to a week ago, Austin, when they had to go the full 100 minutes. We know they had to really work carefully in terms of plotting this week, but the fatigue factor can't be discounted. I appreciate that adrenaline will get them through an awful lot, but it's going to surely play its part late on.
It does, but it's funny, at this stage of the season, last game, you can do it, you can just find something. I don't know what it is, but just, you know how much it means on this. You go that extra couple of percent, you can dig something out of the performance.
Well, there's nothing doing next week, that's for sure. It's all about the here and now, and they've got the nudge on in the scrum. They've got the penalty from the scrum. It's an area in which Harlequins are in the ascendancy.
I called use it, but you can't then step out of the scrum. That's fine.
I love the difference in prop psyche. Lou said Joe Marler right up in the Exeter front row's face. Wilco Lowe turning around, walking the opposite way. He hasn't got the energy to get involved in banter.
Quins finishing strong in this first period. 2 tries each so far, 1 yellow card each so far, and just 2 points separating them.
Well, it's a bit far out for a long drive. They might try and tie in a few bodies, but Esterhazen and Dornbrandt together off Marcus Smith.
Scott Baldwin taken by Levis.
Maybe they try and draw a penalty. If not, the point of that diamond is the big carrier.
Here he is, Esterhazen, holds it back for Smith. Tyrone Green slides past the tackle of Henry Slade. He smuggled it away to Liner. Trouble brewing here for Exeter. Kenningham tearing forwards. They've got a penalty here, Quins. At worst, Kerr picked up by O'Flaherty. And now they're 5 metres out.
Official warning as well.
Just there, put the ball down.
It's a big choice, this, isn't it?
Exactly,
Go in
exactly
with a
the same
one-point lead at
warning that they
half-time,
had, persistent infringement,
or actually
number
go for the
5
try.
offside, never onside. Make sure he's staying there.
Particularly because they're on a yellow card warning. Is it worth trying to eke out another penalty? Obviously, the risk of losing the ball.
It's the same warning you had at a pretty similar time, okay? Scrum. Scrum.
Scrum called, unsurprisingly.
You've got to love the ambition that they play with. You're not a Chiefs fan. Everyone else around the country is going, fair play. It takes some guts to do that. In a game this big, that close, when you're guaranteed 3 points, you can jog off a point in the lead against a side that's had you under the cosh, actually, for a fair amount of the game. They've scored all their points from 2 visits into the red zone. Fair play to them.
Well, once again, they're going deep into the reds. 43.5 minutes in, and this Adam Jones drilled pack looking to capitalise one final time in this half. Options each way.
I think the fact they went for the scrum as well, knowing how the referee's probably viewing the scrum at the moment in terms of who's on top, just turning that screw of pressure, and maybe 3 points here, handy, but is it enough to see off Exeter? No. Psychologically, they can get a real hammer blow here.
Stay square.
Just looking defensively at the back of the scrum, if you can get Dombrand off the back, it's really difficult for Slade to help Simmons because of the posts. So the posts really affect the angle that Slade can help him or Devoto back on the inside. And that makes quite a big difference to your decision-making from this part of the field.
Well, the ball is there for Dombrand. They've got the nudge on. Kerr. Darting forwards, held in the tackle. Just a metre shy. Close range, Levis denied. Wilco Lowe waits. It's there for Smith, and Dombrand is in! A hammer blow to the Chiefs! Deep in the reds, Harlequins strike.
I'll tell you what this try shows you, how much the leaders of this team run things and how much everyone else listens to them. So many teams there would have got involved in picking and going in and around the breakdown. Marcus Smith spots the opportunity, calls for it, he gets the ball immediately, and Dombrand benefits on the inside. There's the scrum, it comes out, they've done their job, they've taken away the black shirts, too many on the floor for the Chiefs as they come back to the other side. They look like they're going to pick and go. Smith spots it, calls Alex Dombrand on his inside, takes out the last defender, and then those front row boys that were still suffering from the scrum can't react quickly enough. They can't get out to Dombrand, and Harlequins set a massive statement going in at half-time.
They really do, but nobody looking if the pass was forward. If I'm a Chiefs fan, player, in fact, most people who can look at the lines on the pitch, I'm thinking, maybe that pass was forward from Smith. It was worth a look. Just the shape of his body, the shape of his hands.
Back with the kicking duty, 2 points banked, Quins lead 19 points to 14, Austin.
Well, there you go, Al. Here's a little line across the field for you as he throws the ball. Just the shape of his hands and his body just suggests to me that maybe that ball's gone forward. I thought it was very close. You would.
Well, Marcus Smith will be delighted. There was nobody to check up on that. Dombrand with their third. And having started so strong, they finished really strong in that opening half. They lead the defending champions, Quins, by 19 points to 14 at half-time at Twickenham. Steady legs and steady minds. A steely focus for Sam Simmons and friends. They've won their last 8. But they've been behind in 4 of those at half-time. We know about their second half excellence, but Quins have their tails up. They have their tails up, and they have their scrum in beautiful, purring working order. They are doing a proper job on one of the best packs in the league at the moment, and that is an issue for the defending champions. Here's Stefan Levis. Very much the rallying point at half-time at Ashton Gate in that semi-final. Told his men that he reckoned Bristol were tiring. They didn't have an awful lot left. And if they could just work their way back in, everything else would follow, and so it proved. That crucial element of belief, Ben, in moments like these, in atmospheres like these, on days like these, tends to make the difference.
On the line, Matt.
Absolutely does, and particularly Exeter, just that calmness. They won't be getting carried away with the volume level going up, albeit from 10,000 people. I think the non-playing players are making enough for 10,000 extra people.
Kirsten crashes up to halfway. Devoto nicely picked up by Simmons. Cuthbert in half a hole, leaves it there for Noel. Noel is wrapped up in the tackle.
Cuthbert's pulled his hamstring.
Cantor's good, they're past the ball.
Might be seeing Stuart
Step
Hogg.
back.
Incredible bit of work there from Kenningham, who has the ball now. Made the tackle and affected the turnover. And Marler will ride this challenge from Yannis Kirsten. Cuthbert will not be lasting any longer at all. That'll be his final act as an Exeter Chiefs player, and now he's out of position as the ball heads to Noel. Good chase from Liner again.
Release him!
Going to be a difficult chase for him from this box kick for Cuthbert.
Sure, Maunders aware of that. He sent it straight up in the air rather than for the touchline, and it's been taken there by Chisholm of Quins. And the momentum rests with those from across the road.
It's unlucky from Smith. He knew what he wanted to do. He just wanted to force it over. The Flaherty was off the wing. Cuthbert's out. Loads of space in the backfield still.
I mean, Chiefs just need to get this ball off the field somehow so that they can get Cuthbert replaced.
Yeah, O'Flaherty's come over to Cuthbert's wing to sort of protect him. Noel's gone over to the other wing, and Simmons playing in behind as the fullback.
Little chip over the top, interrupted. And Simmons now probing down that 15-metre channel where Murley is lurking. Hits the accelerator, Murley. Very well tackled by Jack Noel, who's quickly to his feet. Kerr into position.
They've just got to put the ball in behind Cuthbert. He literally can't move.
7 stops.
Smith drives it forwards. This might be the moment for Chiefs to take a breath. O'Flaherty keeps it in field. Tyrone Green, another groan from Alex Cuthbert. And Green's headed his way. Picked up by Liner. Offloading game is good. Kenningham is there. Whipped away by Levis to Chisholm. Quins at their best, flooding that channel, and now Murley sliding into the 22. Esterhazen, Marchant. Exceptional rugby from Harlequins. Kerr, and Esterhazen's in. A try for the ages. Here at Twickenham for Quins. Running Chiefs rugged left and right.
And Marchant's been exceptional, and he creates this opportunity. He was the man that secured possession for them right at the beginning of all that, when they could have been turned over. The carry back, offload, Liner gets the ball out. Again, Kenningham, good long place, and then they go wide. It's Levis with the pass. Smith out the back, it goes over the top. And then how about this from Marchant? Back on the inside of Murley, takes the metres on offer, the cut back. Marchant doesn't die with it, stays on his feet, ties in 3 extra players. They would have been out on the touchline. As a result, Esterhazen's only got the retreating player to beat. If Marchant doesn't stay up, all those players can get back into position. As it is, nothing Henry Slade can do about it.
Yeah, it's all good, Matt. It's all good.
Exceptional from Joe Marchant, who has had an exceptional season. A try in the 75th minute in the semi-final, a force extra time, a try in extra time, and now a provider for Esterhuizen, converted by Smith.
Ben mentioned it, it's about a belief that you're going to make breaks. The pass over the top from Marcus Smith, we mentioned how important that is. Hill finds himself out of position, and then just look at all the players in support and the channels that they've got. Everyone looking for an offload, everyone trying to run a line. Esterhuizen gets tackled, but then he bounces back to his feet and gets the ball back. It's just incredible psyche and a willingness to attack.
Well, they've dropped the restart. It's gone forwards, and Chiefs might do something here. They can strike back immediately, potentially. It's left there for O'Flaherty. Back behind the gain line, but Chiefs with a 12-point deficit at this point. Harlequins with a man down on the 22. They're playing with 14. Simmons looking to exploit a broken field. Maunder, lovely from Joe Simmons to Hepburn and heading towards that injured player, and frustration written all over the face of Jack Noel, but Matthew Carley clear in his instructions.
You know, when things just start to feel like they're going against you, and there they've created a really nice opportunity. Hoggs on, he will add plenty as a frustrated player coming in with all his talent. Certainly a game breaker, and they might need one of those at the moment, but concerns here for Scott Baldwin.
I've had quite a lot of text messages from people that don't normally text me during matches. Here's where the collision is. Don't run into Joe Marler. That's a lesson not just on the rugby field but in life. But lots of people texting me who are completely neutral. No, you know, they don't support any other side, but all saying they can't believe how unbelievably good Quins have been. A lot of people, including probably most pundits, thought, could they bounce back from last week? Like Ben said before, sometimes you get a mindset and a belief that takes you past the physicality that your body can normally deliver, and we're seeing that so far from Quins today.
Well, we have to remember where they were in the dog days of winter. December, early January, flat as a pancake. Could not find their mojo for love or money. Paul Gustard tried everything in his powers to turn things around, and then the players took it upon themselves.
This is a hugely psychological moment in the game, because we've had a long break now. Exeter will have gone in at half-time as we look at the red zone efficiency and see Harlequins absolutely hammering that on the stats at the moment. But Exeter will have addressed their scrummage problems at half-time. If they haven't fixed them now, having had good attacking front football that the referee had to stop because of the injury to Baldwin, and Harlequins do what they did at the end of the second half and win a penalty here, suddenly you think, how do we get back into this game when our scrum's not functioning? If we don't have a platform, we're in a bit of trouble here.
Without a platform, it's more difficult, undoubtedly, but let's not forget Chiefs find a way back into matches when they look like they're dead and buried. Sale, week before the semi-final, against Quins earlier on in the season, where they 20 points to 3 down, I think, 21-3.
Yep, 18-0 down at the Gardens as well. This time the scrummage has worked properly.
They won the penalty. That's massive, huge for the Chiefs.
Is that the momentum swing they needed? No change of personnel.
You can hear the chat.
No one in front of the ball. No one in front
That's
of
the
the ball.
one coming on the referee's microphone. Big celebrations. All the backs come in and slap the forwards on the back.
Slade's job to put it into the corner. He's left them a little bit of work to do. They're around about 10 metres out.
Maybe in the first half when you're going that way. Oh, he's up for attack here. Attack, 10 metres. He's in, you see.
Up goes Gray. And on comes the power. Ploughing their way forwards. Backs to the fore. Cowan-Dickey goes to ground. Hill with Armand protecting possession here. Gray wants it, has to protect instead, and they will continue to blast and hammer.
See what Quins are trying to do, pull as many people into the breakdown as they can.
Simmons! It's Sam Simmons! You can't keep a good man down. Try number 21 of this Premiership campaign, and probably the most significant.
He's an absolute human pinball. Unbelievable. The defence from Quins is absolutely spot on. I think they're in real trouble here as it spins out. When it gets to Murley, I think this is a try, but Murley does so well to stop it. And then it was just about the patience and then the ability of that man to go. But if I can't keep going forwards, I'm just going to ride the wave until it spits me out, and then I'm going to go again. Unbelievable from Sam Simmons. What a finish. Big moment for a big player. He's been outstanding all season. That could just be the most important try he's given them.
We have got some game on our hands now, haven't we? As Ben said, a human pinball. His agility and mobility is incredible. You think he's going to be hit and forced backwards. He's got the power to ride a really big hit on his inside. Still bounce out, stay on his feet, spin round, accelerate, and then drive over the line.
Until today, he'd never scored in a Premiership final. This is his third showpiece event here at Twickenham. He's done it now, and he's brought his team back into contention, and Henry Slade is gathering the restart before finding touch, and it is all set up for the most spectacular half hour of rugby.
Well, we spoke about field position being crucial to Harlequins in this game, and what a response that is. Absolutely on the money with the kick. The kick chase is good, and Chisholm doesn't miss. Gives his team perfect attacking platform, exactly the area Marcus Smith loves.
Exeter, all take a big step, all of you. Alec, thank you.
Line-out ball is messy. Williams with the hack through, gathered in by Armand instead. Harlequins fluffing their lines. Simmons looking to exploit the wide channels. Slade accelerating. Here comes Stuart Hogg. Angry this week, said Rob Baxter, in all the right ways. Frustratedly left out of the semi-final and the final starting lineup.
Off his feet, no hands now.
Devoto driven back.
No, 6, stay there, thank you, Jeff.
Slade, there's space on the outside. Armand is there, stretching his legs and powering up beyond that 10-metre line.
No, he lost his feet.
Man of the match in the final 4 years ago, Don Armand. Now reduced to a role off the bench, but what a role he could yet play. Here's Cowan Dickey. Maunder, Simmons, all Chiefs at the moment. Slade over the top. Sam Simmons in the 5-metre channel. Inside ball finds Marchant. Ball is loose. Kerr drops on it. Proper scrap for it, and Esther Hazen arrives in the nick of time for Quins. It is fast, it is furious, it is frantic, it is thrilling.
Just trying to make sure they create a better angle for this kick for Danny Kerr. Got to be careful they don't put extra pressure on. There comes the support. I love the ambition of Exeter. When they got the ball in their own half, you're thinking, are they going to kick it back and just bank their chips? No, turnover ball, they attack. And when they go through the phases, they're looking so sharp. There's the ball out the back. Slade throws into that wide channel. Don Armand takes the easy meters on the outside. That's crucial. Come back to the other side. Again, the ball into the wide channel. The other back rower, Sam Simmons, is there. That's how they're manipulating this Harlequins defensive line. and trying to create those opportunities by dragging them from one side to the other. Marchant has been absolutely brilliant, both in attack and defence.
Repair work required. Marchant will be good to go by the look of things. May well find himself battling away with Henry Slade for that outside centre shirt for England in the next couple of weeks. Austin.
Just looking at some of the Chiefs' tactics actually in the second half, we've seen it on a couple of occasions now with that play. Slade now and Simmons are getting interchanging, so they're both playing really close to each other. What that means is they can bring the corner of the Quins defence forward a lot earlier and then throw the ball wider to faster guys. You get O'Flaherty or Simmons in that wide channel, once you put that play together, it makes the corner a lot tighter. As Ben said, Quinn's defence though in that was absolutely spot on. If Marchant's not there, that's in Hogg's hands. He's under the posts and they're back in the lead.
The Chiefs coaches will be loving Sam Simmons at the moment. They won't be happy with that. Throwing the ball away, trying to force it when they don't need to. He just needs to hold on to that ball.
Johnny Hill with line-out ball. This is Townsend who's replaced Maunder at scrum half. Devoto using Simmons, exploding into that hole. The ball very nearly, it has been ripped. It's been stolen here by Quins. And just when you think one team is building up ahead of steam, back comes the other.
Knock-on advantage is over. Stay there,
Smith.
thank you. Stop, four, stop,
Hogfields. And Hogg attacks. Johnny Gray with a tip on for Cowan-Dickie. Simmons, Slade again. He's left that in the air for O'Flaherty. He had plenty to do. Took it on the bounce. Hepburn takes man and ball. Townsend. Simmons once more opening up some space. Lovely offload from Cowan-Dickie. Joe Simmons. And away goes Devoto! Just look at the emotion pouring out of Ollie Devoto. Chiefs are level, conversion to come.
First time Harlequins have shown any sort of fatigue. They're slow to number up in defence back on this side. As a result, they get dragged and they all have to over-chase, which creates space when they come back for the right for the Chiefs. And Joe Simmons goes to the line. It's a pass on the outside, just needs to get his hands free, back to Simmons, and then Devoto's back on support, but all created from the phase before where they dragged them one way, opened up that hole. Kenningham has to dive for the pass, the hands are free, and then it's just picking off the last defenders. Brilliant set-up play from Exeter Chiefs, and an opportunity to go back into the lead that's fully deserved.
Well, just 6 minutes ago, they were trailing by 12. Exeter now lead by 2.
When you want to know what fatigue looks like, this is it. It means you just can't get your defensive structure in place quickly enough. You just see on the outside there, Kenningham can't really get wide enough to get onto Cowan-Dickie. He gets the offload, and then the arc that is run by Simmons takes out 2 defenders, stops Marcus Smith being of any use defensively, and really isolates Tyrone Green. We did say it was coming. Question now is, can Quins find that energy again?
Champion response from the champions. This match is far, far from over. We hoped it would serve up something special. Certainly had that to this point. After the most trying of seasons for every club, for every fan of every colour. Something to savour here at Twickenham this afternoon. Tyrone Green for Quins. Murley, Marchant. So well to stay on his feet.
Advantage, number 2, clear the tackle space.
Penalty advantage here. Chisholm.
Advantage, Danny.
Quick ball for Kerr. Smith now darting through the hole. Gets the offload away. Kenningham, Kerr. Was that forwards? Back we go.
Yeah, they're going to come back, but the speed of Danny Kerr's pickup to release Marcus Smith.
No, you
it's
were
the
the tackler
pace they
or
can
assist
put on the
tackler.
ball.
You
No
were the
right
wrong
to get
side.
this
You
ball
went
away
into
this
Jaffel, so
quickly.
they couldn't
But
clear.
he's up and running. Gives Smith an opportunity to find Hill just languishing. That fatigue creeping into Exeter
you.
now.
Not
Lovely
you.
ball,
You
lovely
were
speed.
fine. The other
Gets his
players
hands
were in
free
the
and
space.
just can't quite deliver the killer pass. Danny Kerr to Don Brandt.
If the Harlem Globetrotters decide to play rugby, it would look a little bit like this. The speed that they break through, the ability to get their hands free, the support in lines, it's a joy to watch. And fair play to the Chiefs, because they've managed to stop it.
Well, it's rugby as it's surely meant to be played. Certainly as Harlequins mean to play it. And now they need to find a clinical touch to go with all their creativity and ambition.
You watch him, mate. Yeah, he's all good. Just don't let him change.
They've got a proper little nudge on here.
Use it!
Kerr to Esterhazen. What a difference he has made as the target man today. Don Brandt comes piling around the corner. Simmons makes the tackle. And the counter drive is an excellent one for Exeter. Coming at just the right moment.
It's huge. Simmons tackle on Don Brandt initially. And then they force Danny Kerr to go in when he wants to pick up, but he has to go over the ball. He gets counter-rucked. Right back on Baldwin, who's trying to pick it up. Brilliant shot from Simmons. And then Joe Simmons over the ball. Danny Kerr has to come in. They counter-ruck. Joe Simmons again with the help of Gray. Knock him back onto Baldwin. Make the turnover.
Well, I can tell you that when that turnover was affected, this lot went bananas. The non-playing squad from the Exeter Chiefs have been up on their feet behind us. Dave Ewers to the fore. They're loving their day out. And how they are contributing to the atmosphere here this afternoon. That counter pass from Quins. Only a short little grubber kick away to their right. It's quite the cheer squad.
I like to think their reactions when they're playing were a lot quicker than they were when they realised they were on the big screen.
It's been a long bus journey, Austin.
I don't think it started just on the bus journey by the look of some of them.
Well, changes are being made at this point by Billy Millard and his coaching team. Wilco Lowe and Scott Bullrin and Murley and Levis are all making way. In the meantime, Johnny Hill wins the line-out ball for Chiefs. Simmons, Jack Knoll, skirting on that outside arc. Here's O'Flaherty.
Tackle!
Townsend having to work hard, but
It's fine, ball knocked on.
it's Quinn's ball thanks to the knock-on.
I'm not sure Liner came through the gate there. I think he came from the side. That's a big advantage to Quins.
No offence until the ball's
Both
thrown.
sides making the breakdown
No
really
offence until the
difficult
ball's
now for the ball to come away from. Yeah, he's clearly from the side. It's not even close. He's got away with that one.
Lewis Liner, who was exceptional in the semi-final last week, playing in his first Premiership final at the tender age of just 21. Last time he graced this turf, he was 8 years old, playing for Richmond Minis in the double-header opener back in 2009. He was reminiscing the other week.
You've had a busy week on the research, haven't you? Have you pulled that one out?
Who won
that one?
Who won? That was a score, Ali.
Harlequins won that day.
How did they score?
I don't remember that. It's not relevant, Austin. Here's Esterhazen to Smith and Green and Marchant. Striding forwards, the tackle is an excellent one from Noel. Looks like he's done himself some damage in the process. Martin was flying and Quins had made it to the outskirts of the 22.
They've done their job and they've got them into touch, which is as good as a turnover. But look how good the release is here from Estesen. Takes away people. Exeter do the right thing, but it's easy meters on the outside. But Marchant has to stay in. Because he doesn't stay in, he's turned the ball over. They've taken so many meters away. But now the Chiefs get the put in. Lovely tackle from Noel, backed up by Hogg. And as he tries to stand and drive on, Marchant's put into touch.
Well, some anxious moments for Chiefs fans because Jack Noel is still down. He might have taken quite a significant blow around the neck, shoulder area in making that tackle.
Just saying, I don't know if it's you, but the scrum came to the left, so the back
he's worked so hard to get back to fitness, to be featuring in the latter stages of this campaign. And of course, he is so crucial to the way they play. Austin.
Just showing you how important, like Ben said, Estesen is in terms of his carrying ability. Look what it does. Look how tight he brings four of the Chiefs players. They're really close in because they know he's such a good decoy. What that means then when you throw it out wide is it allows the wide players, rather than running sideways across the field, can run straight. And if you run straight and parallel to the touchline, it's much more difficult to defend and you make a lot more ground. Jack Noel does incredibly well to close the space off and get out there.
Well, the scrum cap is going back on.
Step out. Step out, your own space as well.
It's going to take a little bit more than that to remove Noel from this equation right now, with a trophy on the line. 2 points in it, 20 minutes to play.
Use it! No! Leave it, both of you.
Townsend, who's brought real energy to the latter stages of the last couple of matches that the Chiefs have played off the bench. Kenningham waiting for the contact. Don Brandt brought down on halfway by Joe Simmons. This time here's Marler into Armand. Smith. Dino Lamb upended. And we have a man down.
It's Cowan-Dickey, is it? Cowan-Dickey gets a knee in the side of the head.
He's renowned, isn't he, for tackling low. He's one of the players that does it better than anyone else, but obviously serious concern about him.
Look, and also kids watching this at home, you get their head on the wrong side like that, really are in a dangerous position. Let's hope he's okay.
So treatment required for Exeter's premier hooker. Jack Yendall is the man lying in wait on the bench for Rob Baxter's side. In the meantime, plenty to get you up to date with across BT Sports coverage in the coming days. From Friday at 7 o'clock, Rugby Tonight will feature a full review of the Gallagher Premiership season and indeed the action in Europe as well. Friday 7 o'clock, BT Sport 1 for that. And then tomorrow 9:15, the MotoGP of Assen, race day in round 9 of the season, coverage from the Netherlands. And Saturday at 7 o'clock, Saturday the 10th of July, that is, boxing from the Royal Albert Hall. Lyndon Arthur and Davide Ferracci in action. And later that night, it's over to the Octagon in Las Vegas for UFC and the third instalment of Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. So Yendall pacing, veteran of Premiership finals, and of course a man who's captained Chiefs on so many different occasions, very much a Rob Baxter lieutenant. Final messages from the director of rugby.
No chance.
With the game at a critical phase, Ben, what's going to make the difference?
Look, first of all, let's hope Luke Cowan-Dickey's all right.
Yeah,
just taking absolutely sure he is sitting up now, and the medic's taking no chances at all. But I wonder when they would have brought Yendall on anyway. You know, he's that sort of player that just come on, is that clear-haired, good leadership. But Cowan-Dickey gives them so much. He's been absolutely outstanding all year. will obviously leave the field now, clearly unconscious. Sad end to a wonderful club season. Let's see. Let's hope that there's no lasting effects of that and we'll see him again.
Well, he's given his all across this first hour at Twickenham. And of course he's due to fly to South Africa with the British and Irish Lions tomorrow evening. So fingers crossed for a fast recovery. He'll need a little bit of time out before he's allowed on the field, of course, from here. But in the meantime, the most able of deputies, Jack Yandel, steps up.
I think, going back to your question, I think it's this area of the field. Who controls this area of the field? If Harlequins can stay down here with ball in hand, they love to attack from here. What they can't afford to do is turn it over cheaply and allow the Chiefs the opportunity to bang it down into their 22. All about controlling the middle third.
Kerr, Smith, here's Northmore at high speed. Once again, the tackle is a strong one from Devoto, and Chiefs thought they had that for a minute. They do.
Got a clear lift on the ball. I thought he turned it over. Move away, move away.
And temper's just beginning to flare. Danny Kerr getting embroiled. It was always going to be high octane today.
There is absolutely nothing in this. We don't need to look at it. It's a little bit of pushing. Townsend maybe just leaves something on Danny Kerr, but nothing really. Kerr jumps up, gives him a shove. Everyone else just comes in, but great turnover from the Chiefs.
Should be able to get a clearer pick at the ball.
Bit of a lean on, takes the ball, has a little kneel on him. Get up. Come on, children, stop.
Two feisty customers in a high-stakes contest. It's gone through the arm and fingertips, but Joe Simmons is there. Chiefs on the front foot. Townsend, Devoto bouncing into Marcus Smith. And inside the 22, Townsend offering a different sort of threat to Jack Maunder around the base, around the fringes. Simmons throws the dummy. Slade. Patience in their phase play. Sam Simmons accelerating again from that standing start. That's high from Dino Lamb. They've given up the penalty. Inside ball from Townsend nearly worked out nicely, and now they slip it away to Slade. He pops it up for O'Flaherty, playing with the advantage, remember, from the high tackle. Simmons swings it out wide for Noel. Strong work from Northmore in that wide channel.
That's legal, we come back, no advantage. High tackle.
Back for the penalty. Is good, but it creaked a little bit when Sam Simmons got the ball, didn't it? Just got them on the front foot, forced the high tackle from Dino Lamb.
High tackle slipped up on the neck.
You take the three now, don't you?
Are you all right?
Who knows in this game?
Just slipped up round the neck.
That would be the logical, rational, maybe super sensible thing to do. However, Chiefs don't really do penalties.
I tell you what we are seeing is what happens if World Rugby banned penalties inside the 22. We're seeing tons and tons of excitement.
You'd see an awful lot of catch and drive, I suspect.
You'd also see a lot of cheating.
Well, 10,000 in today are sounding like 80. And Jack Yandel needs to find the mark here. It's not the cleanest, but it's been knocked forwards by Quins. And Exeter therefore have a degree of slack. Now the offside line breached as well, so that has been upgraded
Penalty advantage
to a full
offside.
penalty. Townsend, change of plan. Not the best of plans, as it turned
14
out.
offside. Oh, sorry, buddy, sorry. That's it.
Goes against
14 offside.
Lewis Liner. Again, just that desperation, knowing that they have to win the physical challenge in this area of the field. Straying offside. Bang in the middle of the field. What's the decision? Yeah, post this time.
Well, at some point, the pragmatism kicks in. And in a game of such fine margins, who knows just how valuable these 3 points might be.
That's boring, isn't it?
You did say 14, didn't you?
What a boring game.
Yeah, all right, mate.
I can't believe there's still 15 minutes to go.
Three points banked by Joe Simmons. Chiefs lead 31-26. And there are some 14 minutes left to play. Let's bring in the Director of Rugby of the Exeter Chiefs, Rob Baxter. Rob, what is going to make the difference here? It is so tight.
Well, what has made the difference is, well, hopefully it has taken a period of control rather than it being like it is now. It's a little patchy, isn't it? And it's those patches of control and patches of territory that are making all the difference. And I think, you know, I'd feel really relatively comfortable if we could grab 5 or 6 minutes that we could take a pretty strong grip on the game. But that's not really happening at the moment.
Rob, is it possible at this stage of the game to get a message on and say that, and say, can we tighten this up, guys?
No, it's not about tightening up. It's about stuff like that, isn't it? It's just the little bits. Like we got into some good phase play, we got counter-rucked off the ball. It's like individual responsibility, bit by bit, to get it right will allow the whole game to break open for us. And it's a little bit about, I think you saw with our try from Ollie Devoto, there's a few tired Harlequins forwards there, and we need to get through a few phases of phase play and get the ball in front of them, and things start to open up. We're actually erroring or not getting through quite enough. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's about tightening it up, but it's actually about tightening up our individual maybe skills and responsibilities.
And how much, Rob, does it come down to now, given that we've got 5 points separating these teams, a short time left, that belief, that confidence that you can see these through? Isn't this the moment at which you're grateful, you're thankful for the fact that your guys have been in this position many times recently?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously an ability to come from behind does give you an additional bit of confidence, and we've had to come behind a bit already today. But that said, you don't want to over-rely on it. You know, I'd much rather now, if we could take a grip and get a couple of scores, I'd be a lot happy, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be that kind of a game, does it?
Certainly doesn't. Great fun, though. Thanks for your time, Rob.
Thank you.
The other worry is that you start trying to defend that lead. It's a 5-point lead, so you know, at what point do the players start thinking, don't make any mistakes? You still need to challenge Harlequins. You can't be flat to play against them.
Here's Devoto, Simmons, O'Flaherty chasing the grubber, Tyrone Green. He's been kept on a short leash for the most part today.
Liner does so well to keep him in there.
I'd play some field position now if I was Quins. Try and turn the pressure back on in the backfield on Hogg.
O'Flaherty jogging back to assist Hogg. But as it is, he's got a little bit of visibility and he's slicing forwards. Pops it up for Slade. Quinn struggling to get back into their defensive shape. Here's Noel. Back inside the 22 again, Exeter. Williams for Yendall. Simmons, Devoto, O'Flaherty. Good numbers in this wide channel. Sam Simmons, excellent tackle from Liner. And Kenningham sweeps it up for Quins. And Marler takes it casually.
Just creating the angle. It's got to be a better kick from Danny Kerr. Last one gave it to Hogg with too much for the chasers to do. Can't give Stuart Hogg that sort of room with a fatigued forward pack.
It's beautifully weighted, that one, and Liner swiftly onto Hogg, just slows him up. But great footwork from the Scottish captain. Armand for Gray. Chiefs enjoying their time on the ball at the moment, but Exeter have given up the penalty.
Clear lift on the ball.
Wow, much better kick from Danny Kerr. The chase is brilliant from Liner, forces him back to the touchline, which is where the forwards are grateful. They don't want him running into open play, using his footwork to pick off forwards that are breathing and blowing, and then as they come back the other way, a chuck tackle. That man there, Chisholm, still plenty in the tank from him, first to the ball, and you can see what a big moment that is to give them the field position that they crave.
I tell you what, some of the energy in this is just remarkable. As Ben said, the kick's too far from Danny Kerr. That puts so much pressure on your defensive line with someone like Hogg. Joe Marler's tackle here could well be a game winner. You know, he's played 70 minutes at Loosehead and he gets across and makes a hit. Hogg gets through that gap, it is try time. And it's tiny little moments like that that make a huge difference. A kick 10 metres too far can cost you the match.
Well, we know he's an exceptional defender.
They've been good all day.
And he's been a critical leadership presence as Quins have built back from December and January into this position here today.
He's hardly played any rugby recently either, just the, what, 170 minutes in the last couple of weeks.
Crazy times. But Quins in possession with inside of the 22. Gray feeds it back to Kerr. Here's Esterhuizen again. Smith. Liner.
Great defence from Devoto. Didn't bite and create the opportunity for Liner.
Esterhuizen once more buffeted in the tackle. Lamb shut down early by Hill.
No, thank you, good choice.
Here's Gray, stopped on the game line. Smith. Northmore into that wide channel where Donbrandt lurks and Marchant takes on Noel. 10 metres out. Smith conducting affairs. Canningham holds on to it. Chisholm. Smith with work to do here. There's the goose step. Here's Liner. Through the tackle. Lewis Liner! Flying in for Harlequins to level things up at Twickenham.
That's the magic goose step. He did it miles away. You wouldn't think it'd have any effect, but it just makes you hesitate. They know he's going to do it. They know he's going to goose step. But it just makes everyone stop for a fraction of a second. That gives Liner the line. O'Flaherty's got to do better there, but still takes some finishing. Cuts the line, inside shoulder against his defender. Oh, wow. What a grandstand finish we have.
I told you before the game, it's the goose step that does it. And it certainly was. When that ball went into the backfield, he just thought, that is a nightmare for the Chiefs, because it gives him so much time to make a choice. And he makes exactly the right choice. And people just, they breathe off him. Liner picks an unbelievably good line.
A Liner ruling the roost at Twickenham yet again. Michael, his dad, of course, winning the 91 Rugby World Cup final here and scoring against England here in 1984 as a 21-year-old. His son scoring a vital try here this afternoon to set up this grandstand finish. Measured to perfection. Quins in front.
Wow, it's
7 minutes to play.
It is incredible, isn't it? The way that he just draws in defenders is absolutely sensational.
After the semi-final at Ashton Gate, we really couldn't have dreamt of a final as dramatic. It's exactly what we've got. Donbrandt with the restart. Smith fires it deep. Sam Simmons will look to straighten, but he will run into trouble. Simmons making the tackle. This Harlequin side does not know how to lie down. It's been fumbled by Yendall. Kerr has it for Quins. Space out wide, Marchant's out there. It's over the head of Noel. And Noel has it now, but the flag is raised. And we're coming back for a scrum, Ben. It's madcap.
Wow. The Chiefs just saying, hang on, how come it's a scrum? Surely the advantage was gone because he kicked it away, but the referee saying no, had no other option but to kick it.
Aussie been looking at that last try.
Well, just to highlight how good he is, what he does is he draws defenders into, and the ball goes back. All he's thinking of Townsend, he's looking at him in the eyes. That means Townsend doesn't see behind him, and that means that Leitner can pick a really short outside line. Whereas Townsend, if he steps off him, he's covered by the inside defence. That's real skill. That's controlling a defender by just eyeballing them and only looking at them with the full knowledge that you're not ever going to go anywhere near them. Have we seen a better final?
Struggling to remember one quite like this. Obviously the 100 minutes that finished with the late Alex Waller try for Saints 2014 was pretty special.
That was tense, really tense, but this has been sensational rugby from both teams. It's actually going to be, you're going to feel really bad for whichever one of these two goes on to lose, because the performances have showed spirit, they've showed style, they've showed class, determination, energy. I think it's the best final we've ever seen.
2019 pretty special. Saracens edging out the Exeter Chiefs. (37-34) that day. 33-31 here. The narrowest of margins separating these sides after 7 months of hard slog. It's coming down to the final 5. Here's Esterhazen, throws the dummy, darts back in field. Kerr, Smith, Marchant. No way through Hogg. Dornbrandt. Deep in the 22. Marler carries it up again. We'll be here till nightfall if necessary.
Let's watch how Smith moves on the passes when he gets them.
There he is, providing the ball for Green. Slammed in the tackle by O'Flaherty. Smith, another tackle made to stem the flow. Here's Lauday. Marler again. Slamming his way into those black-shirted defenders.
I wonder if Smith's thinking about dropping into the pocket for a drop goal. Or is it just all-out attack for Quins?
Seems to be at the moment. Smith takes it on. Green on the outside arc. Here's Leitner again. Can you believe this? The defending champions are down on the ropes, and a 21-year-old winger is driving Quins to the finish line.
I mentioned it's how Smith constantly moves on the ball, even just before he receives it, to drift away from defenders, invite them to keep coming to him, make defenders outside him step in. And the pass is absolutely on the money to Tyrone Green, who drifts on the pass himself, holds in O'Flaherty, so he has to stay. That gives just enough room for Leitner to put his head down, go for the corner. Manipulation of defenders at its finest. Those meters before the ball ends up in Marcus Smith's hands. It is a stunning performance from Harlequins.
Boys' own stuff. for Lewis Liner, and this kick now enormously significant. The difference currently 7 points, a converted try. Smith can drag Harlequins clear. He's been immaculate this season, and once again the boot of Marcus Smith proving critical.
Well, just the way they slide on the pass, Benny said it, they get to the outside and that means that he can shove a really lovely pass to Green on the outside as well.
Final moments, Chiefs need something fast. They may have something fast as Kirsten drives into the 22 and Stuart Hogg touches down for the defending champions. This game has everything.
This is the best game of basketball I have seen in a long time. End to end, unbelievable. But again, just that ability to manipulate defence, tired defenders, defenders that are thinking about their next attacking move, don't switch on quickly enough after the conversion. Wow, Quins under the posts, just saying to each other, we have to switch on at key times. We can't think the job's done, or they don't think it's done now.
Once again, it's a 2-point ball game. Little more than a minute to play.
Yeah, okay from the restart, didn't it, Ben? You look at Noel round the back, takes it really well, recycles quickly, and then it's just the angles that they run, the way that they pick lines. Lovely ball, short ball to Kirsten. He accelerates. Hogg comes from miles away to get into support. I'm going to need to lie down in about 2 minutes' time.
What a brilliant pass that was. Was it Yendel? Oh, just took the pace off it. Everyone expecting it to go out of the back on the overlap, and he puts Kirsten through a hole.
Slade for the Chiefs. Into the final minute. They've got a full 80 metres to move upfield, and Lonsdale clings onto it just. Devoto.
They've just got to stay composed here. Don't give away a penalty, Quins. Hold the field position, hold your line, make sure you're onside.
Strong work from Harvey Skinner, who's come on for Jack Noel. Kirsten banged over, ball dislodged. Quins possession. That might be it. Marler trucks it into the 22 for what might be a final time. They're in control of their own destiny now. A destiny they could only have dreamt of a few months back. It's Harlequins in a thriller at Twickenham. A breathless thriller. And against all odds, having been down and out in January, Harlequins are champions in June.
What a game of rugby, what a final, what a season for Harlequins to come back and play the sort of rugby, to trust their instinct, to allow the players. You've got to give a huge credit to all those coaches that have allowed the players to develop a game plan that even the very best in Europe can't find a way to defend against. Absolutely brilliant performance. The Chiefs gave it everything. It wasn't a bad performance from the Chiefs, but Harlequins, as they did last week, just found a way to let their attacking rugby do the talking. They started strong defensively, but in the end, it's that game that has seen them get to this final that has won it for them.
I've just got huge admiration for both sides in many different ways. You look at the Chiefs, their desire, their fight, their power. They've got the all-round game. They're absolutely fantastic. But I think this season, Quins have redefined professional rugby. They've redefined how to play the game, the mindset that you have. That game that you played when you were a 10, 12, 15-year-old kid, when you ran out and you wanted to run and run onto balls and get support passes, score tries, entertain people. We've spent a long time without crowds, and they'll watch this and they will be queuing up to get back in and watch rugby like this when they get that opportunity. And do you know what? It's been the hardest man of the match decision I think we've ever had to make. There's been incredible performance. Danny Kerr, Marcus Smith, Chisholm, Dombrandt, Marchant was sensational. But there was one defining moment in that game where Chiefs could have broken through Hogg and gone the length and put the game to bed. And it's that guy there, Joe Marler. He is our Gallagher Premiership Man of the Match and the recipient of the Peter Deacon Medal. He has been the cornerstone of the flamboyance of this team. Absolutely sensational year for Quins.
Just a word for Exeter. They didn't, as I mentioned before, they didn't turn up and not perform. They came here, threw everything at it, and they played some great rugby just on the day. Everything clicked when Harlequins needed it to click. But they're still a force, they're still a powerhouse. They got themselves to the final. Crucial for Rob Baxter and his men to get that message across over the summer. And as we know, Chiefs will always look at how they can get better and where they can improve. They know they'll need to. There's a new team on the block now that know they can beat the Exeter Chiefs, so they need to find a new way of doing it. And that man, I'm sure, Tony Rowe, will trust Rob Baxter to find a way to do it.
Well, it will surely fuel their hunger for next season, of course, when Saracens will return to the mix. But we have new champions, 9 years on from their maiden triumph, and to the legendary names like Evans and Easter and Brown and Robshaw, we can add Smith and Green and Dombrandt and every last man in that Harlequin squad who have somehow pulled together from the darkest of days in January and the departure of Paul Dustard. They've been dragged to the top by some ageless, priceless talents, the likes of Marler and Kerr, but by the youth and exuberance as well from the likes of Alex Dombrandt and Marcus Smith. A real victory for adventure, for ambition and attack.
Michael Weir to present you with the Peter Deacon Medal and the Man of the Match champagne. Congratulations, Joe.
Thanks.
Oh, Joe.
Is that mine? Talking about time. Cheers, Matt. I've been waiting for that for ages. Champagne. Oh, I'm going to drown in that.
Congratulations. That was a stunning performance.
No, louder.
Are you serious? Don't do this to me again. Genuinely, do not do this to me again. Well done. Two-time Premiership champion, Joe Marler. How does that sound?
Oh, good. It sounds better than a one-time.
Did it feel different to that, what it felt like 9 years ago?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've taken in every single moment today. And at 21, I didn't have a clue what I was doing in anything. And I can't really remember anything. Not in a good way. I remember it in a bad. Do you know what I mean? It's another level. I'm so grateful. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just, it's loud noises. I love lamp.
Right, the crowds are loving you as well. Look at this, look at the reaction. How have you managed to turn things around this season? We saw that heart, we saw that determination again today. It's been there since January. What's changed?
Well, there's been a lot that's changed. I can't go through it all because, you know, you're on the clock and that. But the group of boys has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger, and the love for each other, massive. We started to believe in what we're about, in what we want to be. We don't do it the easy way. What happened at the end there? Dommers goes, boys, we got a clean exit. Oh, let's just leave the ball to Nosey and score under the sticks, just so the fans can cheer at something. It's crazy.
I don't want to let you go because I'm really enjoying this interview, but I'm going to have to because I want to celebrate with you. Joe Marler, well done.
Oh, with Michael. Do you want to pretend shake?
It is the most extraordinary story. When you think back to mid to late December, when Quins were beaten up really by Racing in Europe, 49 points to 7 that day, December the 20th, it was their worst defeat in any competition in 16 years. They really didn't know which way was up, and several of the players quite openly, Austin, suggesting they were questioning their futures, questioning whether there was any life in the club at all at that point.
You've got to play the game the way you want to play it as a player, and as a group of players, and as a team. Quins aren't a defensive side. They never have been. I don't think they ever will be. They're based on attacking rugby, throwing the ball around. They are a little bit like Racing in a lot of respects. And they tried to change too much. They tried to start with the defensive basics and then build the attack on afterwards. And this group of players have said, no, actually, we don't do that. We're going to take charge now. And actually, when you take charge as a group of players, your buy-in and sense of responsibility is so much stronger than when it's instructed upon you from a coach. And we're seeing that. We've seen that. This is probably the greatest, I think, greatest Premiership victory of any side in the history of the Premiership. Because it's come from the players, it's come from the heart, and it's come from a style that they stayed true to, even in periods of game when every pundit in the world said do the opposite thing. But they did what they believed in, and that's what's so impressive about it.
And all credit to Billy Millard, the general manager, who's overseen this coaching team of Nick Evans and Adam Jones and Jerry Flannery and Charlie Mulcrone and Jordan Turner-Hall. It's been an immense effort. 100+ minutes in the semi-final at Ashton Gate. One of the greatest Premiership finals of all time. Surely nothing less than rugby fans, frankly, of all persuasions deserve after the strangest, most testing of seasons, full of complications and obstacles. But at the end of it all, Harlequins stand at the summit of English rugby again. Quins revived.